Hey folks, Tom from Adventure Backpacking. Thanks for joining me. It's Friday night, about 6 o'clock, and I am getting off for the weekend. I am obviously going to be heading up the Appalachian Trail. I'm in Bluemont, Virginia, and I'm going to be going south probably about 20 miles this weekend. I'm going to do 4 tonight to a shelter, stay there, and then I'm going to do 8 miles. 16 miles tomorrow to another shelter. It's on the other side of Route 50, and then I'll hike about 7 miles out the next day to where I'm going to meet to get picked up and brought back. So that'll be the adventures, and I will keep you informed as we go. I was hoping to catch a sunset here, but looks like the fog and the haze from the humidity is taking over. So anyway, I'm gonna keep heading toward camp. I still got about a mile to go, and I should be there. I don't know, a mile will take me about 20 minutes on this terrain. Hey, update gang. I hung out at an overlook that I came across, and I was hoping to get a view of the sunset, but the clouds rolled in. We're expecting rain tonight, and actually rain all day tomorrow. So wanted to get moving, but there wasn't going to be a sunset anyway because there's too much cloud cover. So I'm back on trail, and I talked to 2 people at the overlook that had just come from that shelter, and they said it's completely packed. So when I get there, I'm gonna make a decision whether I move on or try to squeeze in somewhere, but they said it's completely packed. So I'm about, I don't know, maybe only a half mile away from that, but I'm gonna get there hopefully with the light I have remaining, and then I'm gonna put my headlamp on and see what I want to do. I may just move on a little bit and find a place to pitch my tent in the woods someplace away from everybody, so I'm not worrying about noise and stuff like that. So I will keep you posted. Hey gang, I'm back on trail. Shelter was packed, so I'm moving on. Got my headlamp on, as you can see, and I'm gonna go someplace to find a flat spot. I'm not sure where, but the nearest place I can get to find a flat spot to pitch my tent, that's what I'm gonna do. It just started raining. I'm not sure if you can see it in the video, but it's raining. It's supposed to rain from now till about 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, but I'll be able to find a flat spot someplace, pitch my tent tonight, and then I guess I'm going to be packing up in the rain tomorrow morning at some point, but it's all good. Nothing like backpacking. I'd rather be in the woods in the rain than dealing with people at work. So here I am in my happy spot in the woods, and I'm going to enjoy the weekend regardless of the rain. And it'll stop tomorrow, and by the end of tomorrow I'll be able to set my tent up. It'll be wet when I set it up, but it'll dry off tomorrow night because it's supposed to be decent, and then Sunday's supposed to be beautiful, so I'll have a good hike out on Sunday. So anyway, I got to keep moving, find myself a spot. I'll catch up with you later. Okay, so I found a place to pitch my tent. So this is not completely set up. The reason being, I have a top pole, a cross pole that goes across here on the top, and that's it's been broken for a while. It snapped in the winter time when I was camping in, like, you know, the teens and single digits. So I've been making do with it, but tonight it broke permanently and I can't fix it. So I went and found this limb right here. It's not perfectly straight. A situation like this, you don't want a dry limb because it'll snap. You don't want to take the chance of that overnight and getting spooked or whatever. So what I'm going to do is I whittle down this side already. I'm going to take this other side here. I'm going to whittle this down, and I'm going to use this as my center pole tonight, and that'll get me through. And then I'll have to regroup next week and see if I can get another center pole. It's only 3 pieces. It's 36 inches, and I should be able to find one no problem. But tonight I'm gonna have to make do, so I'm gonna whittle this end down so it fits into my my holder, and that'll get me through the night and the weekend. So talk to you guys later. It's still raining a little bit, and I'm gonna finish packing up, get all my stuff in my tent, and hopefully have a good night's sleep. So I'm done setting up. Everything is inside my tent except for my lantern here, but I'm gonna bring that inside. That lantern also serves as a phone charger. It's a little extra weight to carry, but it's luxury weight, as I call it, because I can make sure I'm good for at least 4 days with that battery, charging my phone as often as I need it. And as you can see, the stick that I improvised with already snapped. I guess I cut it a couple inches long, but as long as that spread in my tent stays the way it is, and it will overnight, I'm good to go. And I'll cut a piece, another fresh piece of limb like that for tomorrow night. It's a little bit shorter, and it'll do. But for tonight, I'm good to go. And this is what it looks like inside. This is my headlamp in here for you. I got my backpack in here. My sleeping pad is underneath here. It's inflatable. I blew that up. And I have my pillows, and also inflatable. And this is my dwelling for tonight. So talk to you guys in the morning. I'll let you know if it's still raining and what time I'm gonna head out. Okay, it's Saturday morning, and somewhere around 7:15, and the rain seems to have stopped for a little bit. We had some heavy rain here last night, and a couple things happened. I'm going to show you in just a second. Had some damage to my tent. Not really the tent, but the poles. The wind kicked up. I think a microburst came through at some point, but I'll show you the damage in just a second. So my pole that goes across here in the middle, you can see there's a stick there. I cut myself a stick last night. I cut it a little bit too long, so the pressure from the wind made it snap. So that was one thing. It did hold up though. And then my long pole goes across the top here. You can see this piece split right here. I had some damage back where this grommet came off back last winter when a branch fell on my tent and snapped it off. And this pole just split last night from the wind, I guess from the pressure between the center pole not holding up and this one. So I guess some new tent poles are in my future. Other than that, everything is just soaking wet. You can see I'm trying to spread out my stuff here just to get myself organized to get on the back on the trail. So I should be back on trail in about a half hour. I just have to clean up and get going. But other than that, I had a good night's sleep. The rain was actually quite calming to me, and the storm kicked in, and the wind and all that. I just rode it out and had a decent night's sleep anyway. Okay, I've got everything packed up, cleaned up. I'm about to take off on 16 miles. From here it should be 15 because I did an extra mile last night because the shelter was crowded. Got my backpack packed up. You can see the bags I put on, my sleeping bag and my tent. I had to improvise a little bit with these bags because everything was soaked. Turns out that I have a little vent in the back window, just like a screen. And the rain was blowing so hard from the wind, it came right inside that vent, and I didn't even realize it because I was such sound asleep. And I got wet, my sleeping bag got wet, sleeping pad got wet, and pretty much everything inside got a little damp. So had to improvise a little bit cleaning up, but I'm gonna embark on this journey today, and I'm thinking I'll arrive where I need to be about 5 o'clock. I'm gonna take about a half-hour break when I get to about 7 miles from here is a shelter called Rod Hollow Shelter. I'm gonna stop there, and then I'll have another about 8 miles to go from there. So keep you posted. If I see anything nice, I'll definitely share it with you. All right, I'm about a mile and a half into my morning. The rain started coming down like crazy, so whipped out my umbrella. I'm gonna keep going. I'm in the middle of my first of 7 inclines, and this part of the trail I did back in the winter. One of my videos I talked about the roller coaster. So last time I did this, there was no foliage. It's about 28 degrees. Today, right now, it's about 68, heading up toward 80 later on. But it's challenging. It goes up between 12 and 1,500 feet, then it goes down the same. And you got to do that 7 times before the roller coaster ends. And then after that, it's moderate for about 4 miles. And then I'll have one big climb before I get to the Whiskey Hollow shelter, where my goal for today is, if I make it down that far. See how the weather goes, but it's raining pretty hard right now, but I'm gonna keep trekking on. Hopefully I can stay somewhat dry with my umbrella, and I'll keep you posted. A couple videos ago, I had mentioned the wineberries and showed you the buds of the wineberries. Well, they're in full bloom now. You can see them here. All they are is wild raspberries and wild blackberries. And these are pretty much ready to go. I've been eating them all along the trail so far this morning. It's a great snack, good source of energy, and they're delicious. The first one of these little guys I've seen on trail, called a red ebb. Otherwise, in other words, an orange newt. A cute little guy. All right, this is my 4th stream crossing today so far, and everyone I come to is rushing more and more and more. The rain's relentless. It's been pouring the entire hike. So I've got about 6 miles to go still, but I'm making some decent time considering the weather. So I'm going to keep plugging along. I'll be crossing Route 605 in Virginia, State Route 605. It's Morgan's Mill Road, about a half mile down from where I used to live. I used to live at 612 Morgan's Mill up here on the mountain. So I'll be crossing that road in about 15 minutes. Springer Mountain, Georgia, 1,000 miles. Okay, it's Sunday morning. I am gathering up my stuff, just cooking breakfast. Went and got some water at the creek. And you can see there's other people's hikers packs here that they hung overnight. And still, most of the shelter's cleared out, but there's still some people have some stuff there. I think there's still about 10 people here, but I'm gonna get back on trail in about 15 minutes or so. I'll be done eating breakfast and packing up and start my day. I got 8 miles ahead of me, and should be an easy day. No rain today. Sun's about to come out, so it's gonna be a blessing without the rain today, although a lot of stuff is still soaking wet, but that's okay. Okay, I'm back on trail. I've just checked my my map, and I've got pretty easy going for the next 4 miles. And then after that, probably at mile 4.5, it looks like I've got a half mile climb, 1,200 feet. And that's about the only climb of any significance today. And once I get up top of that, I'm gonna run the ridge for 3.5 miles, and then go down into a town where I'm gonna get picked up and brought back. So that's what the day looks like so far. And it's gonna be sunny later on once this fog burns off here in the mountains. And then I'll have a great day ahead of me. So I'll keep you posted if I see anything interesting. I'll definitely post it. Give you a recap later on. Little trip there. Trail looks pretty good considering all the rain. Not as muddy as I thought it would be. You can see how it's kind of getting overgrown this time of year, even with all the hikers coming through. Trail tends to get overgrown. Stuff grows so fast. But I'm pleasantly surprised that there's no mud. It's looking pretty good. Big shout out to the trail maintainers who do put these boards up where a little walk paths where it is muddy. It really makes a big difference. All right, I'm about 4 miles into my day, and the terrain seems to be good. A few muddy spots here and there, but that's to be expected with all the rain we had. Other than that, the trail is still in really good shape. I've got that climb coming up in about a mile and a quarter, and then that'll be the last tough thing I got to do for today. So I'll keep you posted when I finish that. All right, I just completed that last climb, so I'm on another section. I should be coming out of the woods into a meadow in about a half a mile, and that section runs for about 3/4 of a mile through the meadow. It's a nice big wide open trail before you go back into the woods, and then shortly after that the ridge will head down to where I need to be met, and that'll be it for today. Okay, so I'm back home, and I almost forgot to do a recap, so I'm going to do that right now. Pretty good weekend. Friday night I got 5 miles in. The first shelter I went to go to was crowded, so I had to go a mile beyond that, which just lessened my miles on Saturday. Saturday poured rain the entire day, but it worked out to be good. I only slipped and fell one time, which is why I made that short video about slipping. And I put in 14.5 on Saturday. Had a good night's sleep in the shelter, met some great people. There was a mom there with her 4 kids and one other friend. And they're gonna hike the 550 miles of Virginia on the Appalachian Trail, which was pretty cool. The youngest was 10, the oldest was 16, and great family. Great to see people out there doing this on their summer break. And I met a bunch of thru hikers that all shared their trail names with me, and that was kind of fun. And they're heading toward the 1,000-mile mark, which would have been about 2 miles from where we were when we were talking. So they're almost halfway, and they're on their way to Maine from Georgia. And then Sunday was a pretty easy day. There was just some slight up and downs at the beginning of the hike, and then I had one big climb, and that was it. So I put 8 miles in on Sunday. So good weekend all in all, and that's it. Thanks for watching. I will talk to you guys next weekend. I don't know where I'm going next weekend yet, but it will be someplace out in the woods, and I'll talk to you then.